Hello and welcome to this free masterclass. Know your menstruation, know your periods masterclass. I'm really excited that you're here to dive in the depth of your menstrual cycle today. Before we have the knowing of how our menstrual magic working, I want you to know that your menstrual cycle is one of the most powerful things that can be working well in your body, and that is so powerful that when you activate the magic of the menstrual cycle, you are activating the energy of the new code inside of you. The relationship that you have with your own womb is the most important relationship you can ever have, because your womb is the energy of creation itself. It's the electromagnetic energy. It's the holy fuck energy. We cannot separate ourselves from this energy because our mind, our body, and our spirit work together. And when you cannot separate it in the way that you cannot stop being a spiritual being, because that is our essence. Now, understanding how the body works is a journey that everybody has to go in order for you to be in your most optimum health, and for you to be the most optimum human being you can ever be. So your mind, your body energetically works together. So you cannot separate, or you cannot have one best working without the other. Sometimes we need to manage the mind to free the energy. Other times we need to heal the energy for the body to be optimum. All these work together. We heal the body while doing some download wisdom that comes from healing our mind and our in embodying our soul, because our soul is divine. The soul is already divine. It's already divinity. So it's all upon us to match these two. So activating and knowing what the blood is and connecting with the blood is up to it's essential for us, because when we know what blood is and we know the awesomeness of who we are in the truth of our nature, is so mind blowing that you cannot not see the divinity in itself. Now, let me take you to how blood is formed in our body. Blood is a chemical reaction from iron-based hemoglobin blood cells in the human body. It is going to be stimulated in your bone marrow to begin the production of the red blood cells. The bone marrow begins the production of the red blood cells, and a series of chemical reactions occur. The bone marrow has a special stem cells from which the red blood cells is going to be formed. These cells mature and then they extrude the nucleus and slowly fill with the hemoglobin until they are filled until they are red in color, and the reticulus ready to escape the bone marrow. Then it squeezes out the blood capillaries and it begins to circulate all around your body. Now, I wanted to take you through this dramatic involvement of the blood production in our body, so that you can understand that the blood that comes from your ovaries, the blood that comes from your vagina, is the same blood that goes through your entire body. So what we have been trained as women is the blood that comes from our vagina is dirty. But I wanted to tell you all this because you want to understand the blood that courses around your body is the same blood that goes outside your vagina when you have your menstrual cycle. So it's not dirty, it's divine, it's full of oxygen. It's the same blood that comes from the bone marrow. It's used for healing. It's the same blood that creates babies. So it cannot be dirty. So I was just doing that for dramatic effect. My name is Angelina, and I am the founder of this Facebook group, Insensible Woman. I'm also the founder of Return of the Diva, that is the mother company for this very informational group for women who want to learn about their true nature, elevating consciousness, and master their own feminine vibration. I am going to take you through the reasons or the energy behind what menstrual cycle is with scientific proof so that you cannot say it's woo-woo, so that you can start to embrace that energy within yourself and maximize, harness the power of your own menstruation. So what is happening is that when the blood gets into the ovaries, there is going to be a fall of progesterone. What is going to trigger the endometrium lining to shed, and you are going to get the physical release of blood. That is what is known as the period every month. And you are in the right place if you are looking to connect with your feminine nature. So we are nature itself. We are part of the ancestry. We are part of the earth. One of my mentors, medical intuitive Caroline Myers, PhD, explains that the feminine body's health problems is related to our second chakra. Our second chakra is where we get the womb. Our second chakra is the pain body. It is, for those who don't know the chakra system, the feminine body has energy centers. Everybody has energy centers, including the men, but they are different in all physiology. So the woman's biggest centers are the sacral, the heart, and the throat. So the man is the root, the solar plex, and the heart, and the other upper. You have seen the difference. So our root is not our main, but the male anatomy is the main. So she said that the sacral chakra, which is the second chakra, is the beginning of all the feminine health issues, because this is where we have the womb. Problems with menstruation, cramps, PMS are classic indicators that there is some kind of conflict with being a woman. Problems with bleeding or irregular periods frequently occur due to emotional stress and the feeling that the woman cannot control her choices. Premenstrual syndrome has a wide variation of signs and symptoms, including mood swings, tender breasts, food craving, fatigue, and it affects women's emotions, physical health, and behaviors during certain days of the menstruation. PMS syndrome includes emotions that have to do with the liver, and these emotions, according to Chinese tradition, is found in the major emotions are shame, fear, worry, deep regrets that are related to the liver shutting down, and the solar plex gates down too, so that the PMS starts to signal danger is in the body, because the two chakras are between each other. So, like we have seen, the orange part here is the woman's sacral, and the solar plex is that a yellow color, and then it starts to signal that there is a blockage that needs to be resolved. There's something that is off within your body. So feminine cycle is both powerful and very fragile. This is the time that the energy and the heat of the body are incredibly high. And this is the time where we have the process of creation and the expulsion that happens effectively. And a lot of energy needs to be drawn to coagulate around the pelvic region and the lower spine. And this is the lower chakra system. That's why every woman should know her anatomy so that she can know how to harness the sufficient energy that is stored as the base as at the base of the spine, that is the root chakra, in order to effectively manage this process. This is often a place where we transfer and drain our energy directly from the prefrontal cortex region of the pineal gland. That is the connection of the throat and the connection of the third eye center. In other words, your root chakra is weakened or blocked. The body relies on your third eye energy stored so that it can complete the process of your menstruation. And that means that you are not being, or you're not working in the most effective way, because the root chakra is going to be weakened due to stress, due to the history of your own sexual experiences, whether it is from abuse or whether it is your complications. It's going to be affected by fatigue, because this is the place which you connect to your earth. The root chakra is the stability. The root chakra is the connection with the earth, with the mother, where you get your support, where you get your stability from. So if your root is very weakened, you're going to have so many emotions. You're going to be feeling like you're not grounded. You are going to have so many toxins within your body because you're not rooted for the earth to release it. And you're going to be in a place where you're feeling fear and anxiety. And in this, very many women identify with. A lot of women feel like they are not grounded. We see this when we recognize this. We transfer energy from one prefrontal cortex region to the base of the spine, and it is recognized by having very strong headaches, tension, backaches, poor concentration. There is mood swings. There is a lack of creativity and drive. In this case, you know that your third eye chakra, which is your antenna to the universe, which is this purple violet color that is near your crown, is not getting insufficient energy and you cannot concentrate. This means that you are exhausting all your capacity, because the energy stored, women cannot menstruate effectively from this energy. This will lead to amenorrhea, and this is very common with women. This is very common when women are going through this time. They go a lot of stress, and this stress can be most seen either physically or emotionally. So in this very informative masterclass, we are going to unveil the wisdom of the 4 seasons of the menstruation cycle without normalizing what we have been told as what is menstruation. So you're going to understand why you get all these debilitating PMSs, why you have blood clots, why you have absence of menstruation sometimes, why you get the lower back pains, endometriosis, meningitis, painful intercourse, ovarian cyst, vaginitis, all these all these big words that are associated with your own feminine bleed or feminine body. So I want you to know this is a safe space and I see you. And we're not going to normalize anything, and we're not going to take anything as being not real. I know that we go through so many things as women, and as this space will show, we are all in this together. So I'm going to be offering you ideas, suggestions, and be real with you. Things that I used in my own womb journey through all these challenges that we experience as women in this world. We live maybe in common, but we are not going to be normalizing them. So a lot of things that we are going to be talking about are distinct and they are seen everywhere, but they are not to be normalized. I am going to be taking you through phases, 4 phases of our menstrual cycle so that you can see distinctively the 4 cycles within the woman's body. So we are going to start with the inner, um, we are going to start with the follicular period here, just after we menstruate. And we are going to go all through the cycle from the follicular to the ovulation to the luteal phase, and then we're going to come back into the menstruation, um, menstruation, so that you can see. Now, there are um, four distinct phases in our menstruation that take place in our lunar calendar in 1 month. And these are very distinct phases that are is a Caucasian rhythm together with the earth. I like to talk more about the earth because there are very significant and visible changes that go on with the earth. A lot of women like to talk about with the connection of the moon, but I found out that the energy of the earth is more prominent or more real as compared to the moon, and that's how I'm going to take you through the changes that go through with the earth in a way that you feel the changes within your own body. So it's going to change our body and it's going to change our emotions and how it shows up in life. We live in a world that does not create room for a woman's health or the circadian rhythm. So we need to cultivate ways to bring back our energy and take back our power because it's a very masculine world that we live in. Our jobs, our career, our world we live in. Unless you are self-employed, you don't think you don't have the luxury of taking like 3 to 4 days for you to feel your menstruation. So there is that pressure of 9 to 5, and you're expected to work 40 hours a week and you don't slack. They don't say that, it's a woman in that position. So you want to like really adapt to that state. And most of us are being very masculine in this kind, and we feel too much drained in our periods. We feel so much disconnected with our own body that we don't honor the signals that the body is giving us. So we want to have this ample time that we provide for us to have our own menstruation. So we live in a world that wasn't made for women, and that's why we need to like have the wisdom of our bodies so that we can work together with our bodies so that the body can start to thrive, so that the body can start to acclimate to that circadian rhythm so that you can maximize your own body potential. In this masterclass, I'm going to share with you tools that will show you how to create your life around your own menstruation so that you can have time to play, you can have time to nourish yourself, and you can have time to nurture yourself in a way that works in a natural flow of our own hormones rather than you fighting against your own body. I have had clients who come with me with very debilitating, painful periods. And when we work together, they have the most easy periods and they are corporate, they are working around the main domineering work and they have learned to maneuver and they don't get as tired as they used to. Some of them were used to taking these pills so that they can regulate their periods, including me. So I'm here to tell you there is a different way of looking of how you can really bring your body back to this natural state without normalizing things like painful periods as something that you need to have, that everybody goes through. So I want you to know that it's your birthright to bleed without pain. It is your birthright that your period come every month as clockwork, regularly, 3 days max. It is your birthright for you to look forward to your own menstrual phase, to be excited to bleed. And I hope to show you that you can make this happen today. Hopefully, by the end of this masterclass, you're going to see yourself as a magical being rather than a curse, rather than a shameful, bleeding species. I will show you the power of your own menstrual cycle. I want you to know that I come from a woman who was hating being a woman, who used to have pills to delay or to not have a period, and even use very harsh birth control so that I cannot have my periods, to one that loves and harnesses the blood and even uses it to nourish my own body because it's full of stem cells. This is the same blood that creates babies. This is the same blood that is coursing through all out your body. So this blood is so potent. It is for healing. It is very, very potent to loving my own body. So there is this gap of being a woman of who hated our periods, who hated our body, to one that is loving and celebrating my own womb cycle every month. So the first thing you want to look at is how you are introduced to being a woman. What was your first experience with your menstrual cycle? So when I say your first experience, what comes in mind? Do you remember that fateful day when you had your first period? If you think about how you were received, how was it? Was it welcoming? Who was there? Who was around you? Was it a mother figure or a father figure? Was it your grandfather or grandmother? Who was around you at that time? What did they tell you? How did they receive you? Or how did they respond? How did they act around the news when you gave them? How did your body feel? Which way were you received? All these questions are very relevant to how you see your blood because of the energy around it. My first period, sorry, goes back to around 12, 13 years there. I don't remember exactly which year, because I was so disconnected from my own body. I hated my blood so much that I didn't tell anyone. I went to my auntie's house, and when I searched around, I got cotton wool, and I took the tissue paper that I had put on my vagina, and I put on the cotton wool. And because it is my first time and I didn't know that it was changed regularly, I stained my dress. So the house help that we had told my mother, and when I was called in the kitchen, I was given that this is the time that you don't play with boys because you're gonna get pregnant. I remember it was not a welcome, it was threatening of how I was going to get pregnant. And I was told I was going to have it for 28 days. So what I thought was in those 28 days, I was going to have all those days bleeding, and then I'm going to rest for 3 days. So the knowledge that was coming was not really clear. That week, a girl from my class stayed at a dress earlier, and the boys and the girls laughed. And she was so embarrassed and so shamed that she did not come back to the same school. And that was my initiation around blood. It marked that point of transition in my initiation as a woman. And from that from that place, I hated being a woman more. I hated the way my body was changing. The breasts were beginning to change, to grow, and they're beginning to come with a lot of pain. So I really didn't like being in this woman's body. Now, what was your story? I would love to know. Please share in the comment section and let me see how many of you really were initiated to being a woman. And if you're given the proper knowledge or the proper welcome to this womanhood. I know this point when this was happening, I was going to change and my body was going to start to develop and the boys were going to start to see. And because of the way my mother introduced me and said I was going to get pregnant, and let me tell you, my mother is a modern day ninja. We call her the ninja. She, the way I was threatened, I was not going to. So I was met with this disdain and this indifference. That was my initiation with my own blood. And out of curiosity, I had to learn from other mothers who had the finesse to even tell me how to use the different types of pads and why I was drawn to use cotton wool. And then I found out about the tampon. And this is all that was present that are present with the older girls that were sharing the knowledge. So the way you are received, the energy behind it is going to be imprinted in your own nervous system. So if you're met with indifference and disgust around you, if you're met with celebration, all that energy is going to be in your nervous system and it's going to affect how the blood is going to flow within your body because every every experience, everything that happens in you is like a landmark within your body. And that's why there was a lot of pain when I started to bleed. Like there was no uh free, it was very fearful and I had a lot of anger and resentment of being a woman. So I never experienced easy menstruation. So what I was told is when you remove it, you need to wrap it around so hard and put it up in a paper and really coat it so that people don't smell your blood. People don't feel or smell that within you. And it's very dirty and it's very shameful and it's a secret that not so many people should know. And it's imprinted in that shame, in that disgust. And that is what the body carries every time in menstruation. That's why you feel that the energy doesn't flow because of how you perceive your menstruation to be. and that is the imprint within your body. So, what was your first menstrual cycle like? There are rites of passage that should take place when a woman bleeds the first time. These rites of passage for most of women never occur, leaving that fragmentation from our inherent medicine that is your period and wisdom that this blood carries throughout our lives. This initiation should take place across a threshold where you are initiated from a maiden to a woman's body. Upon the first blood, sometimes it can also you be used to repair whatever it is that we have within our bodies from our generation, because women we pass down gifts, we pass down traumas, we pass because this is the way the body is. So you can do rituals to restore your womb to the highest capacity and receive the wisdom of your own blood by harnessing the power of your blood. And this is the true beauty of being a woman, that we are being deprived the wisdom and the power and the beauty and the pleasure and the capacity to tune into the best knowledge of our own womb, from knowing our anatomy, from being resourceful to knowing adequately how to care for our own menstrual health, how to be a woman that bleeds, to honor the circadian rhythm of our blood, taking care of a feminine physiology in the modern day impacts the whole health of our body, from our sexual vitality to our reproductive health. And us experiencing this will make a great impact in our lives as a woman. So I had to release that great depth of shame and the secrecy that I carried and the resentment of being a girl, and uh, that threat of getting pregnant, to really release all those energies for me to have painless periods, to heal in my womb. And this is why I want you to understand what is behind your menstruation. What are your own imprints? What was passed down from your grandmother, your mother, the person who initiated you, or didn't, or what emotion you carry within your womb, so that you can start to dissolve all those emotions, all those resentments, all those things that will pass down from generation to generation and healing your own womb. When a woman heals our own womb, or when a woman within your group celebrates our own periods openly and speaks about bleeding, is something that is so magnificent. It gives an invisible permission slip for all women around her to celebrate their own menstrual cycle. So you in your own group can be the woman that breaks that cycle, who decides to release the shame around and the guilt around and the annoyance around our own menstrual cycle. So you can be the game changer. You can be the torch bearer of this wisdom. And I believe that if you're here, you are welcoming this wonderful, wonderful part of you within you. So the four seasons of your menstrual cycle. So in this feminine blueprint of your menstruation is you walking through the vitality and the creativity of your well-being, because you are learning to harness the power of your menstruation, and you are going to work with your body so that you can bring it to equilibrium, stop the imbalances of the emotions and the the diseases that we create within our bodies, because the womb has always been calling you, calling you, calling you. For me, it manifested fibroids, and that's how the womb was calling. Maybe for you, it's endometriosis. Maybe for you, it's IBS. whichever it is, this is not something that we are going to normalize, but we are going to alchemize it within our body through taking a look at our own physiology and removing the imprints that we have within our cycle. So this is the primal cycle that our body has, whether we like it or not, whether we hate it or not. Our body follows a certain blueprint. And when you hit a certain age, your body is going to produce, start to menstruate. And when you get to a certain age, your body is going to stop menstruating. So this is whether you like it or not. Now, knowing that and understanding that, it is in our best interest to learn to live in alignment with this menstruation so that we can create that deep sense of connection with our own womb and trusting the natural cycle and cultivating a deep sense of vitality and not working against our own body. So the first phase that we want to go through is there's no particular hierarchy why I'm going to choose this 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 phase, but we are going to start with our inner spring. Medically, this is called the follicular phase. This phase starts when your cycle stops after the first day of your period. So let's start there. Once you have stopped bleeding, your follicular phase starts, your inner spring begins. And this is going to be 6 to 10 days long. And it's marked hormonically by the rise of estrogen. Estrogen is estrogen is one of the main this is one of the main sex hormones that gives you clarity, that give you the desire to keep your family together. Estrogen is the hormone that is going to enable you to interact with people around the world. Like now, it's going to get to put you in that place where you are more sociable and your energy is fresh. It's that inner spring. It's that blossoming of the trees. There is that energy around that. So the rise of this estrogen within your body is the rise of energy. What's happening to your body around this time is that fresh rise of estrogen is going to give you very fresh energy. So that's why we call it the energy of the spring. It starts to blossom. You start to feel fresh. Your fertility, you feel fertility in the hair because the trees are blossoming, the leaves are blossoming. You can smell that freshness in the air. Energy of the birds of the trees start to push out and blossom. So the seeds that are under the soil, they start to push out and blossom. That is the energy of the inner spring. That is the energy of the follicular phase in our bodies. We can smell that fertility. So our fertility does not necessarily mean that you are in a place where you can have a baby. Fertility is more about your health, your vitality, your own organs feeling all this vibrant or this energy where you are invincible, where you can do stuff. So this is the energy of estrogen that is rising and that freshness. Think about the most beautiful buds and spring that has come from the darkness that is the winter. So it has been brooding for a while, and this is the time that it has come out to the light here and to give clarity. The energy that is emitted is the energy for you to focus ahead. So in this phase, You want to sit down with your notebook and your organizer or your calendar and plan ahead. You want to sit and decide what you want to do with your life ahead. You want to sit and organize what you want to accomplish in this month, because this energy is energy of clarity. Your mind is optimal. What are you looking ahead? What do you plan it, dream it, desire it? You wanna plan all your meetings here. You wanna plan where you want to go in your events. You wanna plan what to take, where whatever it is you wanna plan to. This is the time where you plan all your engagement. Follicular phase gives you clarity to tap into your desires and to manifest things into your own reality. This is a great time for you to also declutter your mind. You can also declutter the things that you watch. That is how you can declutter your mind. Or you can also declutter your house. You've been in the hibernation where you had your period. So this is the first day after your period. You start to clean because you are in this cocooning time. You start to release what no longer serves you from the death and the rebirth of the menstruation. After you have done your bleed, this is the time for the deep cleanse of your body, the detox, organize things that you had kept in the corner that you are not touching and you wanted to get rid of. This is the time. After your period, new life, new cycle. Get rid of the things that you are, the baggage that you had, and release them, detoxify. Now, the next phase is the ovulation. Ovulation is the best time where you can manifest. Ovulation is the time where the egg has been released for fertilization. So it is the time where you can you can make babies. And this is the period of 3 to 4 days. You want to know that you cannot get pregnant all through your cycle. You can only get pregnant when you are ovulating. And this takes place 3 to 4 days. This is when the hormonal highlights a peak of estrogen in your body. Estrogen is the one ruling your body. It is going to impact you physically, emotionally. It's going to be in the heightened state of estrogen in the case where you're going to feel radiant within your body. You're going to feel sexy within your body. You're going to feel so vibrant and alive within your body. You're going to see that you have lesser fine lines. You're going to feel like you're magical, like you are. You are ovulating. You're going to notice that your smell is quite different because your pheromones are there to attract the mate. Just like in the jungle, you are also an animal. So you are going to be in a place where you are releasing pheromones, and you're going to see that you attract a lot of attention. You're also going to notice that you have an increased libido at this time. This is the fragrance that you set out into the environment so that you can say to the potential mates that I am ready for fertilization. People around you are like going to be attracted to you, to your smell because of this. So you are going to have a different kind of armpit smell, and you can notice this. So this time is the time that your body signals that it's fertile. You are so fertile and your egg is ready for fertilization. So if you want to procreate, this is the time where you can make the baby. This is the time where the body is sending the signal that this is the time for you to fertilize my egg. So you might also notice that the change of the cervical fluid during this time is peak. You are going to see that the mucus looks egg white. So imagine an egg that you have removed the yolk, and that white mucus that comes from you is more stringy. It pulls when you pull apart with your fingers, it's more stringy. It's more clear. It's more clear, just like the egg. And this is the discharge that is going to come from your cervical, from your cervix to signal that you are ready and your body is like lubricated for you to like receive the egg. I must say something here. The woman's body is made for pleasure. So the egg has to have that, the cervix meets that mucus so that you can be lubricated at all times, so that you can receive with pleasure. You're receiving the egg with pleasure. So you are not dry, you are lubricated. So this is the natural lubrication for the body, indicating that your body is fertile for ovulation. You can also feel the tenderness in your breasts and the heightened sense. You're also, the body temperature is going to be a little bit higher. How do you harness this power of your inner spring? The energy of the inner summer. Imagine yourself in a summer dress at the beach, feeling all the sun in your hair, or your wonderful dirty clothes of the small dresses, being around the ocean, around the pool, with your big sunglasses, sipping your own margaritas or whatever it is that you like. This is your ovulatory phase. There's no difference. Your body is feeling like that. Because of the high heat, you want to be somewhere that can cool and sip cold stuff that is gonna cool you. So this is exactly like summer. This is the peak of your energy, your cycle. This is the great time for you to start to plan. If you have any speaking engagement, if you have any presentation at work, if you have any, if you're a real estate where you go and view, make people view their houses, this is the time that you want to be out there because your skin looks good, you look good, you feel good, and you have the energy to back it up. So this is the time where you have plan your birthday parties, your outings, your friends, commitment, presentations, everything that you want to do that is out there. So do your major work here. This is also a very great time to have the best sex of your life, whether you are using it for procreation. If you're not, make sure it's safe sex here because this is the place where you can get pregnant 4 to 6 days. This you can use your energy to manifest. These are things that I'm going to teach you in depth, how you can manifest with the energy of the womb, Essex magic for you to create whatever you want with this energy because this energy is charging you. Now, something else you need to know about the sacral energy is they have the battery. The body of a human has two batteries. One battery is in our womb, the mesentery, and the other one is in the heart. So this energy can charge. If you've seen the batteries in a phone, they charge the phone. This is how you charge your own energy in your body. So this is a big deal. You harnessing this power will make you invincible. So when your body and your mind are working in full capacity, you are invincible because you are invincible. Something that, if there is something that you have been putting off, this is when you can tackle it because you have the power to do that. You have the energy to do that. You can collaborate with other people. You can be around people. This is the best time. Now, what is going to be happening before we shift into the next phase of the cycle, you are going to start to notice that the body has a different energy shift. So let's summarize what you have done now. We have looked at the two phases. First, we have looked at the inner spring and the follicular phase, which is 6 to 10 days, where estrogen has started to rise within the body. And this is a great time for you to set your goals, for you to meet your deadlines, for you to have the engagement. This is the time to be out there in the world, making deals, making money. This is that time. Now, when we are coming to the ovulatory state of the 3 to 4 days long, this is the peak of your fertility. This is when estrogen is up through the roofs. This is when you want to create the baby. This is when you want to create your projects. This is when you want to have the big projects because you have that energy of creation coursing within your body. You want to set time to manifest, go inside and create your reality with your womb energy. Now, the next two phases, energy has shifted. The next two phases is the luteal phase, and this is also known as the autumn, the inner fall. What's happening in these 10, it should last 10 to 14 days. So if you notice that your luteal phase is a little shorter, 5 to 9 days, you want to check out your system because something is off. Check out with your gynecologist because it means that you have low progesterone, especially if you have not conceived a child at this time, or you wanna see if you have low progesterone if you wanna create life, because progesterone is going to be the dominant uh, the dominant hormone that is going to be at play in the next two phases of your cycle. It's important to ensure that your luteal phase is at least 10 days long. What's going to be happening hormonically in hormonal phase during this time is a big shift of energy where the inner spring, there was the estrogen ruling and it was at peak in ovulation. Now there is a fall of estrogen and progesterone starts to rise. Progesterone is the next sex hormone that plays a big role in the second phase of your cycle. And it's going to be the major hormone that plays in your pregnancy, if you are pregnant. And here are some roles or ways. Okay, let's just say one of the ways that you can know that or what's the progesterone, the major roles it does, it's going to be the one that is going to maintain the lining of the endometrium so that you can start to cocoon the egg that has been fertilized, nourish the thickness of the endometrium if there is life, or it's going to be the one that is going to be nourishing your womb, your uterus walls with a lot of blood, energy for you to nurture the baby or to nurture the fetus that has been fertilized during your ovulatory state. So during this time, in this inner fall, the shift is going to be focused inwardly, not outwardly. So now you are yin, you are more inside. The two first phases were more outside. That's when you can do the things that are in the masculine nature, the things that needs planning, the things that have A, B, C, D to do. This time you focus your energy inside. You become yang, you soften, you go inside, you engage with the world, your own inner world. Now your energy is going to be shifting back to you, to nourish you, to bring safety to you. if you have a life that is growing inside you, to nurture that life. So this is the time for you. Progesterone as for so if you have had a pregnancy, you want to know that the progesterone needs to be stay constant. It needs not to fall. If there is a fall of progesterone within your body and your created life, this life is going to be shed because uh, of the thinning of the walls, because this is what it does. So this is why we eat foods that are nourishing for progesterone to stay intact. Because what is happening is progesterone triggers the release of the endometrium lining, which is the release of the physical blood, the menstruation blood every month. If you have conceived, the progesterone needs not to 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 fall. It needs to be elevated throughout your pregnancy to help maintain the lining of the endometrium, to nourish that fetus that you're carrying, to nourish that life that you are carrying. So all these two phases is doing for you is for you to look back within yourself and start nourishing yourself. You start to cater for yourself. You start to uh, engage with things with yourself. It's the time to hibernate, to start to hibernate. It's what is happening energetically during this time is that big shifts of energy are happening. So you desire to wear sweaters, you desire to start to hold a cup of tea or drink some hot soup. You are focused in the inside more than the partying. And you see that you don't want to engage with your friends. You don't have the energy to even uh, do small talk. This is the time where you want to just read a book, focus on the winter ahead. It's a great time for you to nourish yourself, to know yourself, to meditate, to create new desires, to just be with yourself, to build better boundaries. That energy is for you. This energy is the premenstrual phase. This is the time where the veil has started for you to look inside and take an inventory of how your life is going, to listen to the wisdom of the womb, to go to peer in the depths of your unconscious mind and access that replace uh, emotions, whether it is shame, whether it is pain, whether it is whatever it's coming or whatever you've been hiding from, and resolved issues are going to come up all this time. And that's why you say you are feeling, you can feel your emotions so tangible. So the first 2 parts of the month, you are outside. So all this is going to be intertwined. And it's very subtle. It's very good for you to be in a place where you can actually feel this because you are in your body. When I was growing up, I had a father who didn't want the girls. We were very chatty. We had 3 girls and I was the first one. So he tried to make us stop talking or suppress us, or there was he had a lot of anger issues, and it was so frustrating. So what I learned is that I needed to shut up. I cannot be heard. And it wasn't safe for me to be heard because it said we are very yappy yappy. And that translated that it's not safe for me to speak. I've had a lot to work around my being seen and being heard. And I know this is something that a lot of women are suppressing because of the conditioning that we had. I learned that that anger is bad, and that it causes people pain and frustration. And these are emotions that not need to be seen outside in a woman's body. And so I learned to bottle it up. I learned to keep it hidden so I don't express my anger. I don't blow off because it suppressed anger and frustration. And in my menstrual phase, I would feel so I felt frustrated and very angry with myself. And so took a it took a while for me to really acclimate and know how to deal with my own anger, to deal with all these emotions that were sufficing, because before I never used to get to this point. I would be so heavily medicated or I'll be high on something and I would not be in a place where I can see this for that is coming for healing because I was not focusing my energy inside. So I hated my pre premenstrual phase. But when I started to work with the medicine of my own phase, I started to see my own anger rise, my own rage, my own shame come, and I'll feel them, and I'll alchemize them and channel it to something or project that I because all emotions that a woman faces are important. Every emotion that comes is valid, is gold, is something that you can use regardless of whatever name that has been used, regardless of whether it makes people uncomfortable. It is gold. So I started to channel that to what by putting it into projects, by channeling it in a more healthy way to release that. And I found that energy that I had in my womb started to open up. And this is how I started to release all those stagnations within my body and clearing its space for more oxygen to come and more blood to flow without finding blockages. And those blockages are what constrains the blood from flowing, and it makes it very difficult for it to flow and makes it very painful. So you want to release all these emotions that are being held in your pain body, in your own uterus, in your own womb area, so that you can start to release and start experiencing painless periods. Yours might be depression, it might be sadness, it might be grief, it might be frustration. Mine was anger, mine was rage. So, whatever emotion that you have, this is the time where it's time for you, it's coming for you to alchemize, for you to really go in depth and work with these energies, work with these emotions, and release it. Because emotions is just energy in motion. But when it doesn't have a place to go, then there is constriction. And then you cannot have a very healthy flow of blood. So now, uh, let me know how your menstruation is. Is it painful? Is it painless? What do you experience? How are your emotions around this phase? Let me know so that I can know how to help you in the coming future if you have any questions, because I know most of my students do not like this phase where we have to take responsibility and go inside. They dread this phase because it means that there is a lot of shit coming, and you better just go out there and party and numb your face and numb than to face what's coming. So they are scared of their emotions. And these are the labels that we get. Either we are so hysterical, we are crazy. And this is the time when you want to alchemize this as a superpower rather than having it as a burden within your body. This is the time to reclaim the power of your menstruation, to harness the power of your menstruation. So this is an incredible opportunity for you to repair the relationship with the multifaceted feminine to honor your emotion and to liberate your lineage from the need of bottling up your emotions, to hiding up the many faces of your energy of who you really are. Because a woman is mystical and there is no saying to what end. The final phase is the winter, the inner winter. That is the menstruation phase. You want to know that this is 3 to 7 days. So if your blood is less shorter than 3 days, and if your blood is much longer than 7 days, there's something that you want to look at deep within you. Now, the most optimum, if it goes, you want to have a talk with your womb for it to come back to this 3 to 7 days. This is the time for deep rest. This is the time to cocoon. Think of winter. This is the time where you just want to be by the fire, cuddling with yourself under the blanket, sipping hot cocoa or some nice soup. This is the time where you are with your favorite book. This is the time for deep building and nourishing and rest. Most of us don't have the luxury of taking 3 days off for you to nurture yourself physically. What is happening in your body is there is progesterone has fallen, remember? So the progesterone as role is for it to build the lining of the endometrium. And when the progesterone falls, the endometrium releases the uterus, and this is how you get the physical release of your menstruation. This is a death and a rebirth because it's an egg that could have been a baby if fertilized. So the death of the uterus is being released, and then new fresh blood is coming into your womb, cleansing your body, because the womb is self-nourishing, it's self-cleansing. The entire womb fills with new blood. It's actually the physiological way of dispensing all the bacteria, all the fallen energy that are coming within your body energetically. You releasing all the sexual activities that you've had with partners, whether it is from penetration, whether it is from a sex toy, any foreign object, whether it's a tongue, whether it's fingers, whatever it is, this is cleansed from entire body so that you can have fresh womb energy. Now, when the blood cleanses all these energies, it's a deep cleanse, and you are nourished with a release of a new blood every month. So this is the wisdom of your own body. Deep cleansing of our own body every month is a gift for all women. And the way that we experience our menstrual cycle is a report card, is like an inventory of everything that you've had happening in your life experience in that 1 month. How are your organ health? Because our sex energy, and we have talked about that, is the estrogen and the progesterone. So the two energies, the two hormones are our sex energy predominantly. So they cater for our organ health. It is our life force. It is the energy that makes our organs health, our nervous system. It works with the water in your body. It is very nourishing for all parts of you. So it's like our body is giving us an inventory of what's happening to our liver, what's happening to our kidneys, what's happening to our digestive system, what are we exercised or under exercised so much. If you touch yourself, you will see that the vagina lining, there are no walls. So You want to see what's cleared, what does your blast tell you? Which color is it? What is the smell of it? So you want to be in a place where you can see and know from the texture and the color of your blood and the quality and the smell of the blood, how fertile or how rich is it. So that is the overview of your body. It's a gift, it's a message from your own womb. Every month, on time, every time. It keeps you optimal. It keeps you in the optimum health. So your menstrual cycle is actually your your womb telling you I'm healthy. It's working with your inner knowing, in your energy line, inner working with your body as a whole. So if you recognize your periods and your menstruation as a messenger, sharing deep wisdom, deep information of your well-being, of your health, of your body, from this approach, you can start to see the magnificence and the wonderful health of your body. Now, people like me who used to have contraceptives, the pill to stop my period, or use there were two pills that were you were given for you to extend that you don't have your period at a certain time. All these have consequences because you cannot stop this rhythm without consequences. And for many years, I did that. And yes, the chicken did come home to roost. And that's how I found this wisdom. Not there is the life I have lived, there is no regret. At the same time, it was I lived it. And that's how we are here through the wisdom of my own womb. So, what is your womb story? What have you done? What are the consequences? And if there are no consequences, this is an invitation for you to start to work with the circadian rhythm of your own cycle. And that's why I call this the power of the period, because there is power from you knowing the fertility and you reading the report card of your own menstrual cycle every month. So that is all I had for you today. I hope to see what you've shared in the comment section. What's your womb story? How this is helping you, and if it has been of any value to you. So I invite you to take the best care of yourself and your cyclical body. Take some rest during the first few days of the periods. And I know that you will harness the power of your own blood and the wisdom that is already inside of you. So from there, thank you for being with me in this masterclass, and until next time. Bye.